War. War never changes.
What is up, guys? HecticSherlock here, and I got another quest mod for you. I know I've been slacking, but that's okay because my boy Saddam4494 hasn't. He's made another quest mod in a series of quest mods, a series of stories rather, in which he depicts the different lives of everyday people in Fallout 4. The first one he did, I believe, was following the Brotherhood of Steel, and the second one was inside the Institute, and this one seems to be inside of a vault, which is great. I know I didn't cover the last one completely. That's because a lot of people had covered it before me, and it seemed like the whole entire thing was over and done with before I had a chance to make a video. But with this one, I will complete it because I need to get into the habit of that. But let's skip into the description here. We'll just skip right into the quest description. It says this mod uses a combination of structured quests and player exploration to tell its story. The narrative is mainly told through a combination of table locks within the vault and through notes and terminal entries. The intention of this mod is to create a dungeon that the player will stumble across during the normal play, which they can then explore. It's a bit shorter than my other mods, which are more campaign focused. This was just a little story I wanted to tell. The mod has 4 main quests and a smattering of miscellaneous objectives which can be completed in the residential area. He has some hints as to how you can start the mod, and this one is probably important. For some reason the radio doesn't play. Then you can, if the radio doesn't play, then you can start the quest by discovering Vault 494 through Big Frank's Minimart. Then you give credit to some people there, but with that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into the mod. Care to take a guess at where we are? If you said Sanctuary, then you'd be right. Now, the first part is figuring out exactly where Vault 494 is supposed to be, and from the research that I did, I looked around, it's around this area, the Nahant, kind of like above the Nahant Sheriff's Department, or right beside it. It's kind of hard to explain, but it's there. It's just you have to more or less fast travel to one of those locations to find it. You see that little rocket ship kind of right beside, I guess, more or less to the left of the Nahant Sheriff's Department. That's where Big Frank's Minimart actually is, and it doesn't show up on your map, on your Pip-Boy map, so that's why it's a little bit hard to find. But this is it. This is where Vault 494 is located. And so right away we find a key. At that point I didn't really know what the key went to. And we see an Assaultron kind of like in the background. I shot it, I guess, just to see if it was still active or not. I mean, looks to me that it's not active, so... Okay, disclaimer, to be fair, I didn't actually know that activating an Assaultron would mean that it would be hostile towards me.
Ambush. Defensive protocols engaged.
I thought it was going to be friendly because I activated it. But nope, it tried to kill me horribly. Also, another disclaimer, it's not a good idea to initiate the self-destruct sequence when you're basically right next to it and have nowhere to go. But it is fun to watch. And so right away we find our first terminal. As we know with all of Sedan's games, terminals are important. They hold a lot of the story in there. So as usual, I'm not gonna be reading the terminals to you guys. You know, if you want to read the terminals, you can pause the video and see what it has to say. I'll try my best to give a summary of what the terminal has to say. And as always, I pretty much put the video in fast mode when I'm dealing with terminals. But in this terminal in particular, Big Frank is talking about how store sales aren't doing so well due to the super duper mart that was built kind of close by in the vicinity of his mini mart, and how it was stealing all the business. And so for him to, I guess, more or less stay afloat, he rented space of his mini mart to a, I guess, government contractor so that they could build a vault underneath the mini mart in preparation for, you know, in case anything ever happens. And I mean, that just brought in some money. They also gave them a complimentary Assaultron, the one we saw in the beginning. And I guess this terminal as well, so him and his employees can, I guess, more or less talk to each other, email, blah, 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 whatever. So that explains how Vault 494 came to be underneath this mini-mart, more or less. The employees were not happy about a vault being built there, or about the Assaultron. They didn't like it at all, actually. And as soon as we get down here, we are presented with a quest called State of Emergency. And so we have to gain access to Vault 494 through this terminal right here. Interesting thing we saw when we first got in here, there's a body laying on the ground and what appears to be blood all over this terminal and all over the security door itself. I wonder why. Could be many reasons why, honestly, but you never know. I guess this person could have been trying to break in and get into the vault. Who knows? Through. So yeah, there you see it. The blood is just all over everything. And the person appears to be wearing scientist clothes of some sort, right? I mean, that's usually the clothing scientists wear, but I guess we better not think too much into it. This is Fallout 4, so anything, literally anything could have happened. Here we are in the entrance of Vault 494. Quaint music, I like it. It's just real, it's nice. It's a nice atmospheric music, like you don't sense impending doom listening to sounds like that. You think, this is nice, maybe something's nice is gonna happen, who knows, but I just thought it was interesting that he chose that to be the entrance sound for finding the vault. So we see, first off, the common enemy here is going to be rad roaches. Maybe that's to be expected with any vault, really. I don't think I've come across a vault yet that didn't have rad roaches in them. I mean, it's a roach, it's going to be there. And this door is locked for some odd reason, so we've got to open it. That door happens to be locked too. We see a security unit. Oddly enough, it has a weird name, not the normal name you would see on a security robot, but... And this is the second terminal, and as usual, of course, I'm going to just fast forward and give you a detailed summary of what's happening in the stuff being showed. This one is kind of just talking about the preparations of an impending nuclear attack or a terroristic attack that would cause for alarm, and people need to be moved into the vault. They give a list of rules, more or less, of what to do, who's in charge, and yeah, that's just it. They just say, follow the rules and do what's right. Then it goes on to talk about this particular guy's position as far as being inside of the vault. He is to guard more or less the gear room. Him and, well, that Protectron we've seen back there are the two assigned to protect the gear room. Basically just make sure no one gets inside the vault. I mean, if there are people trying to intrude, then it's his job and that Protectron's job to fend them off. But the guy doesn't like it. He doesn't like the idea of him not being able to go, I guess, into the inner sanctum of the vault. He's secluded to that one place, and more or less because of it, he starts to go insane. He starts hearing things. He thinks there's people outside of the door of the vault trying to get in, and he even tries to shoot his way out of the vault. But I guess in the end, he more or less accepted his role. He became friends with the Protectron back there, and named it, I guess, that name, 0494. Funny thing is, he made a song about being stuck where he was, and you can read that in the terminal. It's an interesting song, but
Vault-Tec personnel, please leave the area. Attempting to contact Vault-Tec HQ. Contacting.
the one thing he was right about is the annoying voice of that Protectron. Jesus, that voice just gets to me. I couldn't listen to it. I couldn't stand still long enough to listen to it.
State of emergency in effect.
And I believe this is the guy himself. The guy that went insane. I bit down. I seen there's some dog tags on the ground. I believe that was the guy. He died eventually. But of course, you know, the Protectron, immortal. He's a robot, so.
Terminal only.
But that sucks. He died secluded down there by himself, never being able to go into the inner sanctum of the vault.
Terminal's gotta be somewhere.
So here's the key to figuring this trick
Terminal
out
should open
and
this.
opening up the doors. You actually have to sit there and talk to the blah blah. Why can't I say his name? Can't say protect today. You have to sit there and talk to the Protectron. Don't hack him and do not initiate self-destruct.
Processing. Powering up Protectron on duty. State of emergency in effect. All non-Vault-Tec personnel, please leave the area.
Pay attention to Dog Meat. He's going to do something very interesting in a second.
HQ. Contacting. Arrow unable to establish contact.
Start playing with the teddy bear. He got so bored.
Vault-Tec.
Vault-Tec is gone. No need to follow their rules anymore.
Processing. Pinging HQ. Error. No response. Emergency protocol Z-NU-01. In the event of a catastrophic failure in chain of command, including but not limited to airborne attack, nuclear attack, IRS raid, command of Vault-Tec, Vault
494.
Vault to the highest ranking surviving member of staff. At this time, this is presumed to be the overseer
Dr. John Richards.
of the highest ranking security officer at power station damaged.
I'll get right on it.
So yeah, as you can see, his voice is really, you have to bear with him. I went ahead and skipped through some of the dialogue because I could not stand to hear that. Anyone, I'm sure you guys watching the videos didn't want to just sit there and listen to that either, so. Sedan is kind of known for this, more or less. He likes to make things a little bit more difficult for you as a player, but not too difficult. Things that you should be able to do if you play the game smart, more or less. I mean, he gives you options. So to fix these two fuse boxes, you either need to do it by the components needed to fix them, or do it based on your perks that you have been putting points in, while you've been playing. Now, the components needed to fix the fuse boxes are in here in the rooms, so you could just look around and probably find them. But since I didn't want to do that, I used my skills, my perks, science, because why not? My character's an intelligent individual, so science be thy name, and fixing fuses are thy game. Get right.
I am detecting that repairs are complete. I can now lift the state of emergency. Processing complete. State of emergency.
And that's how you complete the first part of this quest, so.
Contacting overseer.
Dr. John Richards.
Message sent. Overseer
Dr. John Richards.
is now in ultimate control of Vault-Tec Vault
494.
and the legal liabilities associated. This unit shall now return to its designated duties. Gear door security.
Where is everyone?
All Vault residents are in the main Vault area. Now the state of emergency has been lifted. You may proceed through the elevator to the living area.
And so he just told us that, I guess during the state of emergency, all the Vault-Tec members are supposed to get into the main, area where everyone comes together, probably eats or whatever, conversate, just hang out. And they do that until, of course, the state of emergency has been lifted. Now the question is, did these people get stuck in a state of emergency and couldn't go back to their normal living because the original security guy appointed to, protect the front died? But I don't think that's the case. That's probably overthinking it. I'm sure an overseer would have the power to more or less, rectify the situation if need be. He could probably override any security protocol that may present itself to them. But like I said, yeah, that's the case. So when you get in there, you have to explore Vault 494 and find the Overseer's vault key so you can open up the door to his office. And by golly, that could probably be anywhere within this vault, so we're gonna have some fun searching. Right there, you just seen I had picked up a behavior token and a residential card key. I'm sure to that person's maybe area of living, or maybe to that particular person's legit, I guess, living space. But it's interesting. You walk into this this cafeteria and you see that these people. I mean, the skeletons are well, they're placed weirdly. I mean, it seemed like some type of chaos erupted in here. I mean, that first guy we came and we saw, he had a knife in the back of his skull. The other guy was laying across the cafeteria, placed right there, and it looks like he had a knife in his skull too. So I mean, maybe someone went insane, finally snapped and started killing everybody, or maybe they went insane and started killing each other. That's interesting to think about. And that skeleton scared the living hell out of me. It just fell off from the roof, and I didn't know what was going on. Just pulled out my gun and was ready to start blasting, start putting caps and everything.
Thank you for listening.
This vault appears to be in complete disarray. I mean, you can tell these people went through a lot, either trying to escape or, you know, just maybe going insane. It looks bad. It looks real bad in here. I'm sure there is quite a story behind all of these corpses, and I'm sure in due time we'll probably find them. Probably find out the story. That machine, obviously, we found some behavior tokens, and the tokens have to go somewhere and they have to do something. So this is more or less kind of like a be good, treat yourself deal going on. You know, probably doing tasks, and being a good vault person gets you behavior coins in which you can exchange for goodies. Because everyone's a giant kid.
Good evening, dwellers. This is your
Yikes,
overseer.
they need to be
In light of the
bribed to
recent
be
spat of thefts, I'm
a
organizing
functioning
additional
member of a
instances
vault.
of the following seminar.
But I digress.
May and mine. Thefts and how not to do it. Attended at one of the
I'm just cut to the chase here, guys. There is no point in visiting this lavatory. I'm not sure about that, actually. You might want to see for yourself if there's no point visiting it, but I didn't find anything of use in there. Actually, I didn't find anything at all. Maybe I wasn't looking hard enough. Maybe there is something in there. But I kicked open every stall, and I didn't see a single item, a single person, or anything. So, I don't know. I guess just go in there at your own patience, willingness. And we see a photo of Big Frank's first shop. It's interesting. When I found this picture, I didn't know, I didn't think immediately like, hey, look, you know, Big Frank's Mini Mart, you know, but I thought about it. I was like, whoa, wait a minute. This is Big Frank's room. Holy crap, guys. I had stumbled my way into Big Frank's room. And guess what? He liked to make teddy bears.
Don't have the key.
Good evening, dwellers. This is your overseer. In light of the recent spat of thefts, I'm organizing additional instances of the following
And so, in this, we learn that Big Frank, he had a project. We don't exactly know what the project is that Big Frank is referring to in this terminal, but he's definitely wanting to do this project. And so he starts selling bears, I believe, inside of the vault during the time he was there. He sells bears to make money so that when he gets out, he can do his big project. And or maybe the project was saving up money. I'm not sure. All I know is by the end of this terminal, you know that you have to search for, I guess, his project notes or whatever. Or, I'm not sure how to explain it. You get a picture in which you guys will see in just a second. You get a picture and it tells a little hint pops up saying that you can do something with it. You know, you can put it up somewhere. So I'm sure we'll figure out what all that means by the end of this. But it tells you to search his sewing machine, in which, of course, a small key falls out, and that you can use to open the safe. And there it is, Big Frank's portrait. So, if I read that correctly, his project was a big portrait-size picture of the picture we first picked up when we entered the room of him standing in his first shop. So, it says maybe you can find some place to hang it. I'm not sure what that means. But I'm sure later on that this portrait comes in handy. So, definitely keep it in your inventory and don't, throw it away or anything. Now, here's where things get a little interesting. We're introduced more or less to this new character. Her name is Dorothy. It seems her father died or was murdered. I guess more or less for some behavioral tokens. We were talking about those tokens and how they're used to get goodies, and maybe more or less you have to behave and be a good functioning citizen of the vault to get behavior tokens. Well, here's an instance where this girl's, Dorothy's father was murdered for his tokens. Jesus, what are they selling? Crack? Like, are these tokens so important you have to kill a person for them? Jesus, but it's interesting. I say it's interesting because Frank takes more or less an interest in this girl, and he feels sorry for her because, of course, her dad's dead, and he tells her more or less that if she ever needs any help, she can come to him, and that the girl and her mother are more than welcome to ask him for help or stay with them. So that's what we get. We also get in these notes that the overseer is kind of a dick. An emotionless dick at that. He doesn't particularly... I guess he feels sorry about what happened to Dorothy's dad as he's writing letters to, the wife of the deceased. But it seems like his overall stance is that there's nothing we can do about it. We'll have seminars to tell people that killing is wrong. Like, that's going to help. Of course killing is wrong. What you should be is finding out who did it. And I guess more or less taking weapons away from the people in the vault. But he said he tried that, or I think he said he tried that, and there's nothing that he can do. So, I mean, it's a helpless situation, but I guess we'll see more of what happens as we get further into this quest. But that's it for now, guys. As usual, thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next episode. Peace!